Hi, it's Zara. Today I'm here with lesson 5 of A Course in Miracles. So, I'm never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. That's my cat. This is not true. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercises for the day. Applying the same idea to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. When using the idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to it. For example, I am not angry at blank for the reason I think. I am not afraid of blank for the reason I think. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first set your mind for sources of upset in which you believe, and forms of upset which you think result. So sources of upset, so what's upsetting you and the form, whether you think it's worry, depression, anxiety. Okay. Where are we? In these exercises, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than to others. It might help to proceed the exercises with the statement, there are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing so. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's idea to some perceived sources of upset than to others. If this occurs, think first of this. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. Ooh. For the purposes of these exercises then, I will regard them all as the same. Okay. Then search your mind for no more than a minute or so and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. Apply the idea for today to each of them using the name of both the source of the upset, as you perceive it, and of the feeling as you experience it. Further examples are, I am not worried about blank for the reason I think. I am not depressed about blank for the reasons I think. 3 or 4 times during the day is enough. Again, that's my cat. I'm never upset for the reason I think. Okay. Try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you. Okay, so what's disturbing me? Something that is disturbing me today is university, which I know is maybe it's not that silly to be disturbed by it, but I'm not enjoying university, but I'm in my final year of my bachelor's degree, and I kind of dread going in. Usually I'm worried. Half of my degree is Spanish, so within that degree you have to do a lot of speaking, obviously, because if you're studying Spanish you should have a good grasp of the language. So I get really worried about that because in my final year half of the students that are there have come back from a year abroad, so they're really good at speaking, like you wouldn't know they're not native. And the other half, they've already studied Spanish at A-level. There are a few that didn't, who are in my class, like a handful. But every single one of them knows another language, like they know French or they know Romanian, and I just think that kind of helps them with their language skills. And I don't know, I guess I feel very, very insecure at this stage of my Spanish degree because I've not improved in the ways that they have, and I guess that's kind of disappointing to me, and I'm a bit ashamed also, and also a bit embarrassed because maybe I haven't done as much studying as I should have. Like, if I'm falling behind and I know that, then I should practice more, I should study more. But it's weird because language is like the way that you acquire language naturally, Kisa, is not in a classroom. So language learning is really weird because a lot of it is subconscious. I don't know what she's doing. And so I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay, so basically I get really worried before going to class. I get really anxious. I get really nervous. When I'm sitting there, I'm like I can communicate, Kisa, but oh no, this is gonna, Kisa. Okay, let's just let her pass, because you have to let cats do their thing, because you are their servants. If I stroke her, she'll move. Come on, good girl. Okay, so what's my point? Yeah. Oh, Kisa, come on. Kisa, mi amor. Okay. Yeah, I get really, 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 really nervous. So when I'm sitting there in the classroom, I'm like, please don't ask me. And I guess the reason why is because everyone else is really good. If I was in the classroom where everyone else was at the level that I was at, I'd be more confident. And I guess this is a good exercise for me because I have to be fearless, be confident, and just not be embarrassed. And obviously that's easier said than done, but it's a good way for me to practice, I guess, this lesson, maybe. I'm never upset for the reason I think. But then it's not telling you what the reason is. So it's really difficult to, the forms of upset that are disturbing you and the feeling as you experience it. So I'm not worried about my Spanish classes for the reasons I think. Because I can justify it by, oh, I'm just not as good as them and it's quite embarrassing and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, why does that matter? It's an insecurity of being... And I've dealt with this a lot with university, especially with like language learning and doing presentations and stuff like that. So I'm nervous because I perceive it as, oh, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. But what is the real reason? So if I'm not nervous for the reason I think, the real reason is to be put in an uncomfortable situation. But then why is it uncomfortable? Because we're being judged. We feel like we're being judged by somebody else or other people. And why is that disturbing? It really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't matter. I guess it really shouldn't matter. I guess, so I'm never upset for the reason I think. So it's being vulnerable to other people. Okay. So another example, I'm not depressed about blank for the reason I think. Wow. What am I depressed about? Because at the moment I do think I have depression that comes and goes in waves, and when I'm busy at work it's not there very much, and then when I'm home it really is. For the reasons I think. So the reasons I think that I'm depressed are, I don't know if there are any reasons. I guess I'm just frustrated with my situation. Like I don't really want to be in education anymore, and I have to do a master's after this to kind of make it relevant, or maybe not, maybe I'll take some time out or something, but I'm already almost 31, so I don't really want to do that. I really miss working life, like full-time working life. So I think that's the cause of my depression, just my situation. I don't necessarily think it's chemical right now, or it's a combination. So what's the real reason for that? I guess lack of freedom, or the perceived lack of freedom. Because although I have to go to university and I have to finish this degree, there's not really that long left. But that perception of lack of freedom is quite just, it's hard to live with, and I've always hated that. That's why I hated education in the first place, and I left school at 16 and didn't go back again till I was 27. So or 26. So what's the real reason that I'm depressed? Lack of control in my own life. I guess what it's trying to do is to make you look beyond what you think is painful. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. So I guess it's just trying to tell you, like, you don't have to bear the burden of these feelings. And I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. So any upset, the reason for it is not what you think it is. So once you look deeper into it and you realize what the actual reason is psychologically, then you can let it go, because you realize that it's... But then, okay, so how can we? So if I'm saying the reason why I'm worried about university is because of insecurity and being judged by others, I know that I need to let that go. I know that if someone wants to judge me, then they're not a good person. And I know that if I was in the classroom and someone's Spanish wasn't good, I would not judge them. I wouldn't. Not now. I mean, maybe in my first year at university, someone was really bad. I'd be like, well, how come they don't know this? Are they not studying? And I guess that's what they think of me. And I guess my insecurity is because I know that I haven't been studying as much as I should, and I'm ashamed of that. But then that was my decision. It's been my decision to kind of half-ass it at this point. And yeah. I'm not depressed about blank for the reasons I think. I guess what this is trying to do, because it's not really telling you what the reason is, obviously, because it can't, it's so varied, but just to look beyond what you think the cause is and really examine that. And actually, when you do examine it, you bring light to it, and it's like, you know, you shouldn't feel that way, and you know that it's silly. And I guess through thinking like that, say, look, it doesn't matter that they're judging me. It shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, what does that really bring to my life? It's not really affecting my life in any way unless I think about it and I let it. And then the depression for having lack of control. I mean, you chose to be in education. You wouldn't change it. I mean, I don't know about that. But I'm gonna get this degree now, and although you feel like there's a lack of freedom, I mean, compared to like full-time working life, there is more freedom. But I think it's just because I don't want to do it. I'm not happy with it. But sometimes you just have to just get through it and it's gone. I mean, not every situation is comfortable and not every situation you like, but sometimes you just have to endure it until it's over. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about it now. I'm just like, listen, I mean, it'll be over by April. It's November right now. It's really not that long, because I get like a 6-week break for Christmas, and that's in a month's time. So all I've got to do is 1 month, 6-week break, and then 3 months, and then it's gone. So yeah, I guess it's to realize that all upset is from a trivial place, and you need to shed light on that, and you need to try and embrace every upset with that mindset, to let it go, and it's not going to go overnight. I'm not going to just walk into class and not be anxious, but if I acknowledge that it doesn't matter, the reasons I'm feeling this way are really silly, then that might help. So I'm gonna try that. It's the morning, I have to go to university now, and I will see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll tell you how it went, or if I was able to apply those lessons. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.